Hi, Martha. It's so nice to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Really lovely seeing you again, Ron.
Likewise, likewise. Congratulations on another season. I was just thinking back on like this journey for this show and
Yeah.
like how it all started, like a mid-season premiere. You talked about how you did the audition in the bathroom of your apartment,
Oh my God,
and
yes.
here we are. Like, how does it feel to have like looked back on these last few years?
It's such a great it's a wow, even you just describing that, it seems like it was like eons ago and it was, but it feels like yesterday that we just started. I think that that's the essence of this show. It's always just fresh and new, but definitely, auditioning from my bathroom has upgraded. I've got like a bit more leeway out here now, but Albuquerque. No, it's been an incredible journey, Ron. I think like, just it's been unexpected in terms of the success. You never know how audiences are going to respond, and it's just been wildly successful. So I'm incredibly grateful to still be a part of it and to see the fans just continue their loyalty and support. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's true, like especially when we first chatted like several years ago and the show was starting, like you really don't know how audiences are going to react. What have you been hearing from fans now that we are, two seasons plus in? What's the kind of feedback that's been memorable for you from fans?
I think like I mean I've had a lot of feedback in terms of just how relatable they are to the female characters. I know for me I get a lot of DMs in how Fiona's journey of being undocumented and living such a precarious life. Those who have experienced that or know people who've experienced it have just given me a lot of love and it's something that I really was very careful in portraying because I mean these are true stories, and we're just extrapolating from those stories in order to create something that is authentic, and that's something that I really wanted to do. So getting that kind of feedback was so meaningful to me, and it meant so much because I wanted to be truthful to who and what their certain circumstances were.
Yeah, and that's such an important part of the show. And hopefully, even for those who
Yeah.
have no experience with anybody who is undocumented, like this show, and stories like this, hopefully create more empathy and understanding with these situations. And I think that's what's so important. Now, speaking of different communities, like obviously you have an Australian, Filipino background, and so I'm sure you've also received a lot of love and support from those communities. What's that been like from family and those back
Oh,
home?
amazing, amazing. It's so funny because like even 30 years from now, I get DMs from, friends from 30 years from now. They're just like, oh my God, I see you on TV. And they're in Australia. And for me, it's just so wonderful that, well, first of all, they still recognize me, which is great. But the
You look the
fact
same.
that, struggling through, many years of struggle as being an actor and to actually be on a show, not only that, on a show that is quite meaningful in terms of the content, the topical situations that I've experienced throughout the storytelling has been just amazing. So, but the Filipino community are just so proud. The Aussies are always just Aussie, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. So it's wonderful. But I think it's a testament to the show, it's like this world is it's a global community now. I mean, everybody's on social media and everybody knows that there are other cultures, and to not acknowledge that is something that is, a bit of a detriment to I guess the industry. So I'm very proud, very, very proud.
Yeah, that's such a great point about the global landscape of the industry nowadays, right? I mean, all the streaming platforms, all the network shows, like you can't just
Yes.
cater to local or US audiences anymore. I think even
No.
US audiences have this hunger for like a very international view and perspective. And I feel like this show really leans into that this season. I won't go into any spoilers. We're 3 episodes into the new season, but being very light. I mean, we see, of course, at the end of last season, Fiona ends up being deported, and that's tragic for Fiona and the family. But what I love
Yes.
about the setting is that we get to see you, Fiona, in scenes that are supposed to take place in Manila, and like
Yes.
your own arc. I mean, how much fun has it been to be able to tap into like that part of the character's like background and cultural heritage?
It's been incredible because even for me, I mean, I grew up in Australia since I was 4 years old. So, I mean, to live out being in the Philippines was also something very new for me, you know. But the fact that it was incredible. Rochelle Berliner, who is our set designer, created a set here in Albuquerque, and we shot through winter. And we were supposed to portray a hot, sweltering Manila, and it was like 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, and at the same time, everybody's wearing tank tops, and to still, you know, be grounded emotionally in those elements was quite challenging, but it definitely, you know, it made me, I guess, emotionally more vulnerable because of the elements that we had to deal with as actors. So those were definitely the most enjoying parts. It's like as a Filipino as well, you know, I've never really experienced it as much. So for me to explore it firsthand and live it as if I had was something of a revelation too.
Yeah, that's so great. And on screen, I mean, for what it's worth, I don't know if you've actually seen the new season yet. Have you been watching as it's been released? I know you're filming still now, and like you mentioned, you're in New Mexico. Have you seen the new seasons at all yet, or this new episodes at all?
I I've been so entrenched in filming. We've been, you know, I mean, as you know, we were held back because of the strike, and it's been long overdue in terms of filming. So we've just been filming and churning things out. That for me as an actor, it's really hard to just start watching a show while you're filming it, because then I'm going to be looking at, especially just I know the costumes and makeup that I've had to deal with during the first 3 episodes were quite yeah, definitely challenging for me to to deal with. So I was like, no, just wait until the end of the season, because otherwise I'm going to be in my head of like, oh my god. So that's just actor vulnerability, neurosis.
That's really funny. I actually really appreciate that insight because yeah, like by the way, it does look sweltering in Manila. So
Okay, good.
yes, it did get across. But yeah, without I think you've hinted it, like Fiona's going through a lot in those first few episodes.
A
And
lot.
so yeah, you still look great. It's okay. It's okay. We're so
No, but that's what acting is all about. I mean, it's something that, you know, you just dive. For me, I love diving into the character regardless of, you know, all that neuroses as a person and as an actor. It's like, it's about what those people are really going through, what that character is going through, and being deserted in the middle of the desert means you're not going to be looking your best at all, but you're also just going to be emotionally vulnerable in every way. So that was something that was so um, easy but challenging to dive into.
yeah,
If that
I
makes
love
sense.
that. Speaking of looking your best, I want to ask you about an exciting new addition to the team, JB Tadena, who
Ah,
obviously is an important part of Fiona's story arc, and I think we're just
yes.
learning a little bit more and more about that. Like how great has it been to have JB as part of the team, and what's it been like to work with him?
He's amazing. I mean, like you know, whenever you have it, I know for me, I get nervous whenever I'm on another show or working with a new actor, or even working with a friend who I've never worked with. I just get so nervous. But he was so easygoing, extremely charming, very chilled. So it just made our I guess rapport and our scenes just so easygoing. And I guess that's what was needed for their relationship, obviously with the with the past that they've had. That, you know, it's always those moments that we always look back on in our lives, as I'm talking in Fiona terms, that we, you know, did we really miss a moment that we should have followed through? So I think those are things that many people can relate to. I think so. That's something that I really enjoyed playing.
Yeah, that's a great point too, especially for immigrant families, right? Or just
Yeah.
immigrants who are maybe forced or have to rush to move to another country. And there are all these
Yes.
relationships, friendships, family that are left behind. And it's so fun to get to explore that. Now, off screen, you know, because JB is new to the team, was there anything that the two of you got to do to just help build that chemistry and prepare? Because a lot of your scenes are just you and him, like together.
Yeah. No, you know what we bonded on is how cold we both were. We were both freezing. I mean, as you can see, he's wearing like a tank top, and I'm not kidding when I tell you it was like 33, 30 degrees, wind as well. I mean, to play the fact that he's, you know, cooking and it's hot. I mean, we both were just jumping up and down and just laughing at each other and just like, yeah, this is great. So that already broke the ice, literally, in terms of just our rapport and our banter. Behind the scenes, we were in a tent, a heater, and just hand warmers, and then even on my nose, because my nose would get so red. So those are the things that we bonded over in between our takes. It's like, are you warming up? You warming up? Yeah, we're good.
I love that. I mean, that's truly, you know, movie magic, because you wouldn't even, you know that you all are faced in that situation. But
I'm so
glad to hear
happy to
that you
hear
find it.
that. So happy to hear that, Ron.
Now, you know, speaking of Fiona's own arc, like because Fiona is in the Philippines to start the season, and we're talking about the history that we get to explore, like, you know, did you and the writers and Miranda just talk at all about like just preparing for you to take a larger role in this season, and what did you do to prepare to have your own, you know, Fiona's own arc that isn't, you know, it's not necessarily tied to Tony's at least early in the season.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, even starting from season one, you know, you just saw, I just always wanted to do justice to the writing, every performance that I would, you know, have. And at that time, you know, the writing just kind of kept building for Fiona. So I was so grateful that they just wanted to explore more of Fiona instead of just it being a sidekick or in that way. But it was, I'm incredibly grateful to the writers for really wanting to dive deep and into who she was and why Tony and Fiona are such ride or die sisters. But with this coming season, I mean, I'm definitely one of those actors that I prefer not to know, because I just end up anticipating too much and I start judging things. So for me, getting a script is like life. You don't know what's going to happen, so you just deal with it right at that moment, and it keeps me fresh and present. And that's something that, you know, I think has helped me throughout these seasons. But again, I'm incredibly grateful to the writers who've always just wanted to expand on Fiona's storyline and discover who she is as a woman and as a mother and as a sister. So really, just, yeah, absolutely grateful.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it better. I think that's the joy of this, like having these third and fourth, hopefully fifth plus seasons, because we get to explore all these characters in such depth. So
Yeah.
congratulations, Martha. It's so great to
Oh.
speak with you and share a little bit of your journey through these last few seasons. And I can't wait to chat with you again in the future.
Thank you so much. Always such a pleasure, Ron. Really happy to see you again.
Now stay warm.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.